Hello and welcome. You're watching RT with me, Olga Masalkova. It's midnight here in Moscow and we're coming to you live from the Russian capital. Thank you for joining us. Vladimir Putin returned to the presidency in 2012. The key question came under the spotlight at an annual meeting with journalists. The legacy of World War II passed on to Russia by the Soviet Union was also highlighted. RT's Ekaterina Gracheva was at the debate.
A Q&A session and probably the Kremlin's most successful PR project. Once a year from all over the world, journalists and academics make a pilgrimage to Russia to pick the brains of its top politicians. This year, the Valdai Forum members are twice as lucky. President Dmitry Medvedev and Prime Minister Vladimir Putin both agreed to face the onslaught. With reporters from the Financial Times, The Economist, The Guardian and the BBC present, one expected a rain of risky questions, but the real hot potato came from a Russian.
Will Vladimir Putin compete with Dmitry Medvedev in a presidential election 2012? And he said to me, he laughed, and he said, Nikolai, do you remember how did we compete in 2008? And I said, no, you did not compete in 2008. And he said, then we won't compete in 2012 either. We'll make a deal. We'll sit, we'll think what the situation is with Dmitry. We are very similar people with similar views. We are people with the same blood, he said.
The debate was behind closed doors, but as most of those in the room were journalists, the word will surely spread quickly. Some analysts have already reacted to Putin's comments, but say that one should take care to distinguish between the real news and clever teasers.
The competition of Putin and Medvedev in electoral campaign, Russia would automatically become a multi-party or a two-party system, what from my point of view is very needed in this country. But today, Putin clearly said that this will not happen. There will be no competition between him and Medvedev.
Another edgy question was on the legacy of World War II passed on to Russia by the USSR. Putin said he didn't protect Soviet diplomacy, but neither did he support attempts to speculate on history.
We're not against re-examining some of the events which led to World War II, but we want this examination to be objective. The world after the First World War was built with mistakes. The Versailles Agreement humiliated Germans. One can't humiliate other nations, especially such a great one as Germany. It later gave fascists the right to say they were unjust to us. We will revenge.
With Iran's nuclear program a continuing headache for the West, another question was inevitable. Would Russia support crippling sanctions against Tehran if peaceful engagement failed?
Russia certainly does not favour an Iranian nuclear program, supports peaceful Iranian nuclear developments, and strongly, categorically opposes any military attack.
The topic of this year's gathering is Russia and the West back to the future. The message is clear. The Cold War as we knew it is over. But are we going to see a warm peace or a cold one? To warm things up, a new global security architecture needs to be built. This is what President Medvedev has long been calling for. Members of the Valdai Forum will meet him on Monday in Yaroslavl for another Q&A on this too. The Valdai Club is a juicy opportunity to meet the country's top politicians and grill them with edgy questions. This time, however, few dared to quiz Vladimir Putin on risky topics. Maybe that is why the meeting set the record as the shortest one. It lasted just under 3 hours. Ekaterina Gracheva, RT, Moscow.